Hey guys, how's it going? Lazy Comforts here, and welcome to cooking some short ribs, whatever style, freeform. And yeah, today's recipe is really just an onion. We chop the onion into just some ring slices there. It's half an onion, or well, it's a full onion because I actually have to chop this in half and realize that just half an onion wasn't enough. Peel the shells off. We just do one slice down the, I guess a half into like just columns, and we pretty much get a bunch of rings and like triangle slices or whatever, or cone slices for the pan. About 2 cloves of garlic. Just unshell them or like split it apart and just cut the ends off to quickly break it open. Peel the shells off. I cut garlic a little strange here, so I actually cut it all in thin little slices, but I don't cut it all the way to the ends. So it holds the garlic together, and then I rotate it around about 90 degrees, and then I cut them again all the way down on the side, and then I get a bunch of tiny little squares of garlic, essentially, or like strips of garlic. Side cut, and then there we are with like little square rectangular strips of garlic. Okay, and we've got a pan that's heating up, just a lot of virgin olive oil, tons of it if you want. You can use this to cook some vegetables afterwards, but we're just going to use this to saute the onions and the garlic. And we've got some short ribs ready to go there in the sink, just unpackaged. So a little bit of salt, or like some salt just on one side, just a lenient amount of salt, and some black pepper. So we're going to pepper quite liberally on one side as well too. That's the side we're gonna pan fry later on. Just put that away. Doing this with one hand's pretty hard at the time. Okay, so we just throw all of this in at the same time. Doesn't matter too much. You're gonna cook practically about the same time, just until it separates and changes color a little bit. Right now it's all kind of like bright yellowy white, and by the time it's like a good whatever, it should look like a goldeny yellow. I don't really have any like too much timings here. I'm actually just cooking this by color. I'm not really even looking at timing or whatever. I'm just cooking by smell and color here. Add some salt into this. The salt here will help draw out some onion and like the onion acids and the garlic and like any moisture. It'll help sweat it out a little bit better. Just stir it around, break apart the onions with the spatula or whatever tool you're using to cook with. Spread it around with the garlic. Just make it soak up all that oil. Heat can be fairly high, or it shouldn't be low. It should be like medium high. A piece of tin foil where we're just gonna line up this on a baking sheet for the ribs later on after we sear both sides a little bit. I have a little screwed corner there, so I'm just going to get an extra one because I'm too lazy to clean this sheet anyways, is why I'm lining it up with foil. You technically don't have to, but I just don't want to wash too much because I'm lazy. And yeah, so we'll drop all that on there later, and it'll also hold all the sauce anyways, so. There while this has been cooking. You check out the onions a bit more. really trying to break them apart and just spread them apart so they're not glued together. Alright, they're already getting kind of goldeny, getting kind of yellow. No longer really that white color, it's mostly just yellow, heading into golden brown. The garlic's definitely already getting golden. There's like a few bits that were like smaller that are starting to turn a little bit dark. I had to remove those, just making sure all the onions are broken apart, all the innermost pieces are spread out. Just gotta mash it in and spread them out so that they all cook evenly. Otherwise you can have like a very acidic raw taste on a few bites. Gotta make sure it's all evenly spread. Alright, and now that this is heated up, we don't have to cook it all the way through. We're just gonna line up the bottom of the aluminum foil here with the oil, the garlic, and the onions. And we're just gonna like grab a pair of chopsticks to just pull out those last few bits so they don't just turn black while they're cooking with the ribs. Otherwise it's gonna cause like a real bittery flavor of something burnt or whatever. So just pull those out, pull those little bits out, just make sure it's all gone. Okay, and then we add some more oil for extra virgin olive oil. Not too much this time because there's already a lot from the previous one. And those ribs have a lot of oil themselves, naturally. And what we want to do here is the salted and pepper side down into the pan and leave the other side up. That doesn't need as much time as the side with the salt and pepper. You don't have to necessarily do it this way, this is just how I liked it. So I like to like pan fry like the salt and pepper like right into the meat with direct heat. Just to kind of like brown it and like sear the color in as well as the pepper and the salt straight into the meat on one side. There's a reason behind this, and right now I don't have enough space on the pan. So I can only do up to those maximum amount of strips, because if I leave some sitting on top, it's not going to cook evenly and it's going to be kind of weird, so that's why I took that piece off. So we're just going to have to do this in 2 batches, because I just want it evened and consistent. And just a little bit more oil on top. Make sure it doesn't get dried. I'm just fiddling around with the oven here, just trying to figure out a preheat, but this wasn't... I just set it for 25 minutes just to heat it up, but I think it only took about 9 minutes or something like that. I only set the timer because I just didn't know what timing to set to preheat the oven. I'm just baking these after once they change color on one side. Just want to make sure you get that nice little like sear on that side with the salt and pepper, so you get that kind of browning and the darkishness. That looks almost like syrupy sugar, even though there was no sugar involved. Alright, and then once the other side that has some color on, so what you do here when you place it onto the sheet, the salt and pepper side go down on top of the onions, and the other side that had no seasoning, you put that face up. You just finish this off first. And we do these next 3. Again, just once more, salt and pepper down on the pan. Other side up with no seasoning on it. These ribs are already very, very tasty, so it really doesn't need too much. What I'm grabbing here is just some random Korean marinade, some Galbi sauce. And what I'm going to do is just measure it into a spoon, essentially with one hand. since the other hand's holding the camera. Alright, set the tablespoon. Okay, and then just a quick check underneath and do a flip. So we just want some color on the other side, just so it's not red when it's going in. A little bit of color on the other side. Oh, that's looking so good. I'm hungry just... Alright, just a bit of time there while that's going on. Turn off the heat once the flip is done. And it'll still be cooking anyways. And we start measuring this. So basically what I do here is just about 1 full tablespoon for... Well, it's basically just to coat the surface of the ribs. I don't think that's even enough for like the surface of all of them, but maybe for a batch I might actually need 2. The oven's already been preheating up for 3 minutes or so. And this color looks good. Just a quick check underneath and we're all set. So again, salt and pepper side down and the non-seasoned side on the top. Salt and pepper side down. This is going to be a little tricky because it ran out of space already, but you just overlap them. Because this next part here is all about dropping the sauce. Alright, there we go. Notice like the color on one side is much more defined than the other side, which is fine because this side is the non-seasoned side where we're going to bake it. And the baking plus the sauce on top should caramelize the top part to also be more defined in color like the other side with the salt and pepper. Is the whole reason why we did it this way. And so we just drop the sauce. There's the rib sauce. You can do this with any sauce, to be honest. That's sort of like within the barbecue realm flavors. But this is like, I think like Korean barbecue marinade or something. It's just Galbi sauce, so 2nd teaspoon. This should be more than enough. Alright, and just to coat the rest that didn't really get too much at the top there on the side. And the little in-betweens into the onions as well a little bit. And just kind of smooth it out with the end of the spoon. And this leftover on the pan, you can just use that to cook some vegetables. Basically, it's got some short rib, garlic, onion, and whatever. And I'm just going to use some vegetables to wipe up the rest of that pan later. Very delicious. There's a lot of flavor in there anyways, so might as well just use it instead of waste it. And while that happens, we pop this in the oven. And just let it go. So it's at the 20-minute mark, but it really only took 9 minutes. So I baked it for about 9 minutes, where I took a look inside and it looks pretty good. And I think this is where I kind of stopped it. We hit that stop, and we just let it cool off or whatever, and we're done. Pretty much, it's time to eat. This was some very lazy food, and honestly, holy.
It smells really good, as good as it looks. I'm a hungry boy right now. Holy. Alright, let me just get some rice. Oh my, it looks so good. It smells so good. I want some of this in there. salivating. I'm salivating. I want to eat all of this. I should have gotten a spoon, but I have only one hand anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This looks delicious. Let's just have the third one here. And the rest, Mom can have it. Or she gets something more. Alright. Hey guys, how's it going? Maximum Comforts here, and now I'm gonna eat. Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Whoa. So it's super tasty. The ribs are actually like nice and soft and taste really good. Look at that color. Holy. Yeah, that was just a on the fly whatever recipe. I don't know. I just loved my food, and then it came out just as lovingly. So it was great. So yeah, I'm just gonna eat this food, and yeah, in maximum comfort. So I'm looking like a bit filthy and like degenerate, but I don't care. Today's the day where I don't give a shit. It's so soft too. Oh, super soft too. So that was definitely the call, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks so much for watching, and hope you try it out yourself.